Look Outreach is underwritten by the generous support of Munter Enterprises. Family owned and operated since 1972, integrity is important, as our family name is on every project. Our word is our bond. Munter Enterprises. Just build it.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, it's no secret that we live in one of the most beautiful parts of the country, all the lakes and the mountains and everything else. But how about the history of the region that we live in? This country is here because of the battles that were fought a stone's throw away from where we're sitting right now. Think about that. Well, 240 years ago, Battle of Saratoga took place, considered by everyone to be the turning point of the American Revolution. And there's a big event that's going on at Saratoga National Historical Park this weekend. And joining me is Lisa Dittman, who has a really unusual title, by the way, Chief of Interpretation. So,
yes.
First, welcome.
Well, thank you for having me today.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
I'm glad to be here.
You have to explain the title. And can I have that title? I'm going to use it here. Right?
So,
Chief of Interpretation.
Chief of Interpretation. I oversee all of the visitor services in the park. So our visitor center, the programs that we offer to the public, our school programs, anything that has to do with brochures or waysides, exhibits, that's all in what I oversee. Now, interpretation means that as interpreters, we are taking the story of the park and making it easier for the public who's coming to visit us to understand why that place is important.
You know what, that could be a little bit of the way language was used at the time.
Yes.
Words that have really sort of fallen out of our vocabulary. I'm thinking of one musket, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's so many things. Oh, a rifle. Oh, okay, I get that, you know. So I would imagine that interpreting the stories of the past to engage someone from this time period is actually pretty challenging.
It is, because, you know, today in our fast-paced society, we don't think about how hard it was to live 240 years ago.
That's right.
You know, washing was not, you didn't throw it in the washing machine. You had to go get buckets of water, you had to heat it up, you had to boil it, you had to scrub it, you had to make your own soap to wash it with.
That's right.
You know, so, yeah, and if you were a soldier, you know, it's the same thing. You were on your feet, you were marching, you didn't get in a Jeep.
That's right.
Or something, you know, you walked.
Well, you know what's remarkable to me, and that I remember once I was at the History Channel, we were working on it. This is real hand-to-hand battle. This is, you're looking at your enemy face to face. If you go to the park, they have a wonderful way that you do this. You've got red fencing and you have blue fencing, I think it is, right?
Yes.
Is it red and blue?
Yes.
And these were the front lines for the American soldiers or the British. And you can actually see they could yell to each other. And once the smoke cleared from a musket or from a cannon or the debris, you know, you could actually yell to them, see each other, and then then hand to hand.
Oh,
now, there were two battles, right?
Yes, so the first battle was September 19th.
Right.
And that one technically is considered a British win because the Americans walked off the field first, even though at that point it really was a draw.
A draw, right.
And
that
then
happened too.
Yeah, and then the second battle was October 7th, 1777, and that is the one where the British actually surrendered.
That was decisive. 13,000 American troops, maybe about 8,000 British troops participated in that second one.
In the second battle.
Now, the reason that we're talking about that is that the 16th and the 17th, this Saturday and this Sunday, in the park, there are all kinds of activities, a lot of it around reenactments of things pertaining to the daily life of the soldiers and the support families and staff to enable them to have these encampments. It's stop 2, Nielsen House,
yes, it's
right?
at stop 2 at the Nielsen House.
And the Nielsen House, if any of you have driven through, there's this beautifully restored farmhouse that the Nielsen family actually farmed the land until the battles. and then they moved off, and the generals took the dwelling over as a headquarters.
Right, and that was General Poor and General Gates that used that as their headquarters for the American Army.
So on Saturday and Sunday, give me a sense of what's going on. You're stepping back in time.
You are. Our reenactors will be in period clothes. We will have canvas tents. They will be cooking over open fires in the same pots, same type of pots that would have been used. We'll have several musket black powder firing demonstrations during the day, a lot of different talks and programs. On Saturday, we'll have a tour of the first battle, so very in-depth of why that battle occurred at that location, what was really important. We'll have talks about the women and their role in supporting the troops. Sutlers.
Oh, S-U-T.
S-U-T,
yes, right, sure.
who were craftspeople, and how they would make money from following the armies around. And then we'll also have on both days a reenactment of a court-martial, which is very interesting. They're actually going to read the transcript.
That actually took place at Nielsen House, correct?
I'm not sure if it was at the Nielsen House, but it's somewhere in that location.
Yes,
Yeah. And so two spies, we've got the transcript of that actual court-martial that occurred. So we'll be reading that. Reenactors will be reenacting what happened. And the audience will get to decide whether those people are convicted or not convicted.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, you have to know, and again, and Lisa and I were talking about this, because I asked her, I said, well, will there be any reenactments of battles? This is hallowed ground.
Yes.
There are soldiers buried everywhere at Saratoga National Historical Park. So out of respect for them, there won't be any battle reenactments, but they will set the camp up so you can actually take your family there and actually see what it was like. Look, it's free, by the way.
Yeah,
I can't believe this.
It's free. And when there's not a special program going on, talk to the reenactors. They'll tell you what they're doing. They're more than happy to talk about the history of the battles themselves, or the area, the location, and what maybe they're doing, why they're sewing the way they're sewing, or cooking the way they're cooking, or what is the uniform they're wearing, why is it a different color maybe than that other person's uniform.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's so much to learn, and this is when learning is fun, by the way. You actually get to see, and reenactors take their work very, very seriously.
They do.
So please, this Saturday and Sunday, it's wonderful to go to the lakes and hike the mountains and everything else. Go out to Saratoga National Historical Park and really learn something that really affected our lives 240 years later.
Yeah.
Well, Lisa, thank you very much for coming in.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Great.
And I honestly can't wait to go out there.
Yeah,
So
no,
thanks.
and then just real quick on Sunday, the Daughters of the American Revolution and Sons of the American Revolution will have a special memorial at 2 o'clock with a wreath laying. And if you're interested, in October for the 7th and 8th, we'll be doing a British encampment to talk about the British side.
For the second battle?
For the second battle.
Great.
So that will be coming up, so put that on your calendars.
I will. It's a pleasure to meet you
Yes.
and talk about this.
Yes,
Thank
you too. Thank you so much.
To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.